Alright everyone, welcome back to another edition of Where's the Deals, the series where of course I go on the Facebook Marketplace in search for, yes, video game deals. Now, we're looking for really anything interesting, whether that be good, bad, maybe even outrageously stupidly priced listings. So real quick, I don't want to take up too much time on this subject. If you haven't been following the channel or are new to the channel, please take a moment to check out this video of mine regarding my 35+ day horrible adventure with the 2 hospitals I've been to and the now new wonderful diseases I have for the rest of my life. In that video, I do have a GoFundMe thing going on. Hospital bills, medication, and my wound care supplies are expensive, and my insurance is acting extremely stupid about this. So if you can donate, then thank you very much. If not, then, maybe you can share the video. Hey, I'm cool with that too. That's all I'm really going to say on the matter, other than a huge thank you to the ones who did donate and or did share the post. At some point, I may do a follow-up video or maybe even a video where I show you guys how the whole wound change process goes from start to finish, because it's pretty gnarly, interesting, and sometimes it's extremely painful. But anyway, enough of that. So yes, that being said, this particular video does not have a theme or anything, so we're just going to segue right into our first listing of the day. A mixed variety of games, and I guess some DVDs here for $5 a pop. Or you can have everything for $200. And I've said this numerous times now, and I will continue into perpetuity into saying this. $5 is one of those numbers that can either be a good or a bad thing. Older, stupidly common titles like SingStar, Guitar Hero, some Medal of Honors, and Call of Duties don't exactly hold much value these days. You can usually find them cheaper if you shop around. Having said that, the guy has some stuff that would interest me, like Pac-Man World 2 being a $10 to $15 game, Flat Out 2, a personal favorite of mine, which is, I believe, around $9 to $15, and of course Jackass the Game being, oddly enough, I've seen this go as low as $15 complete to, I think I've seen a few listings sell recently for around $60 to $65, again, complete. I don't exactly understand what that's about and why the fluctuation in price. There are great games in this lot. I mean, there's plenty to choose from. Also, the guy has a stack of PS4 games for, again, that same price. Now, all of these games are worth anywhere from $8 to just shy over 20, so with that, you're getting a decent or great deal. Would I buy everything for $200? Probably not, but I think I would for around $150. Only because if I was going to sell the duplicate games, there's quite a lot in here that I know I would be sitting on for quite a long time, and I don't have really any desire to do that. This next listing I almost passed over, but something caught my eye. The games are $3 a pop, and that's fine. There's a lot of stuff here that's pretty much worth that exact price, give or take $1 or $2. Then I noticed a black label NBA Street 2, which is becoming harder to come by and is worth pretty much what that entire stack of Wii games is worth. Maybe even more for that matter. It's a $20 to $30+ game depending on the condition, and it's also incredibly fun to play. Another game in that same stack of PS2 titles that interest me is Eve of Extinction, a relatively unknown title, not really worth a ton, but it still has more value than the majority of the games here, being worth around $8 to $12. The rest of the stuff here, while yeah, they're good titles, I'd probably pass on everything. I wouldn't bother making an offer on all. The Wii games, most are shovelware, especially Anubis 2. If you're unaware of that game, I did make a rise and fall video on the developer behind Anubis 2 and how ridiculously terrible they are. So check it out, it's pretty interesting how they got away with so much. So, like, this guy, the seller isn't that old. In fact, he's probably younger than me, and I'm almost 30. I'm just shocked because quite a few of these games fetch for way more than just $10. Honestly, I would probably ask this guy for shit if he would give a better deal on the entire lot, simply due to the fact it seems like he's just trying to get rid of everything. A good half of the games you're not saving a whole lot on, but regardless, games like Spyro and Super Smash, I mean, hell, they're worth double if not triple that price. And honestly, if you were going to keep those games sealed, there's a pretty good chance the value will go up gradually over time. I mean, look at how much Super Smash Melee costs brand new these days. One dude sold an unboxed one for over $3,000. Oh god, do I wish I could afford to blow money like that. Here's a large bundled listing of 42 PS2 games, 6 demos and add-ons, an iToy, 3 memory cards, and 4 controllers. Apparently the guy sold the console separately and is not including it in this listing. That's kinda strange, because typically people would just pop all this stuff together to avoid having to do multiple listings, let alone having one with nothing but games, controllers, and a bunch of other shit. For $100, I don't think I would buy this. Are there great games here? Of course there are, sure. But none of the games really hold all that much value with the exception of Crash Wrath of Vortex, and I honestly think that's it. The controllers, 3 of them are Sony branded ones, and you figure on the lowish end they're worth around 15 to 20 bucks. Okay, fine. But them being as old as they are, you have to hope to God that the analogs don't have any excess travel to them from being heavily used. The iToy and memory cards are worth around 8 to 15 bucks. Here's the thing, are you getting a good deal with this listing? Kinda maybe, because the bulk of the value here is really in the controllers and the memory cards and the iToy, and not exactly in the actual games provided. Like, a lot of these titles are worth around $2 to $4 a pop. So while yeah, of course you'd be saving money here, you have to really consider on what your plan is for all this. Are you a collector? Are you a reseller? Or are you someone who is just getting into PS2 gaming? And if so, do the majority of games and other things he has really interest you? For me, no. But for someone else? Well, maybe. Now, I'm not at all shocked this one sold, especially for $50. You got 15 NES titles, which most look to be in decent or good shape, and then a couple controllers, a light gun, and some hookups. About half of the games like Super Mario 2, 3, The Simpsons games, Little Mermaid, and Tiny Toons are worth anywhere from $10 to $20+, depending on the condition. Of course, he has titles here that aren't worth more than maybe $5-6, but when you consider the overall value here, you'd be saving quite a bit of money. Again, no surprise why that's sold. It's a great listing. This one also sold recently. Now, of course, I can't exactly tell what the buyer offered him, whether or not it was the full asking price of $50 for all 17 games. He also offered 3 games for $10 if you did not buy them all together, which is like a difference of like 40 cents a game when you do the math. This is honestly a pretty great bundle of games. You got a lot of shooters here, but there's also some other stuff mixed in like action games, and Full Auto 2, which is a racing game with shooter aspects similar to that of like Twisted Metal, which in my opinion is an underrated game that, again, no one really knows about. If it were me, and I was just getting into collecting or PS3 games in general, I would snatch this listing up, maybe ask for a better deal, who knows. Most of the games are extremely common and cheap, sure, but others like Sniper Ghost Warrior, Prototype 2, and Mass Effect 3, for example, are worth nearly $7 to $10. You're getting a good deal for the most part with this, although you may have better luck going to a local game shop. Reason being is, if they have tons of copies of the same game, chances are they're going to have very low prices on them so that they can get rid of stock quickly. Trust me, I've seen it happen numerous times at Disc Replay. This is another one I almost bypassed until I saw the game on the very top right, Run Like Hell. That game is not easy to find, at least for me. I've only seen it a couple times, and it's worth around $15. Another game that holds a decent amount of value is Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero, valued at around 14. So these two games alone pay for the entire 25 bucks the seller is asking for. At this point, the rest of the games are just an added bonus. But you know, I gotta say, this is a great bundle regardless of that. There's a lot of games in here that I personally love, like Hot Shots Golf 4, Dead to Rights, and of course the Sonic Collection. And one of my top favorite games, which may or may not be controversial, Final Fantasy X-2. I only say that because I hear a lot of people hate this game for whatever reason that may be. But regardless, next to Final Fantasy Tactics and 8, this is one of my favorites of the franchise. Anyway, a great listing. Whoever bought this got a damn good deal on some great titles and saved probably double, if not a little bit more than what the seller is asking. Okay, this one makes me laugh. $20 per game. Willing to negotiate. I don't know about that. None of the games here are worth 20 bucks like at all. In some cases, the games here I've seen sell for under like 7. Actually, I take that back. I do believe Constantine sells for close to 20 bucks, but that's basically retail, so whatever. I will say this though. Kengo Master of Bushido takes me way back. It was like the 3rd or 4th PS2 game I've ever bought, and I thoroughly enjoyed it even though I got my ass kicked a lot at times. Anyway, this is just a crap listing all around. Don't bother touching it. I don't see many Ataris for sale anymore by me, so when this popped up, I got somewhat excited. It's one of those 4-switch Vader consoles with 7 game carts for 40 bucks. You see, Atari confuses me when it comes to pricing because I've seen systems sell complete with controllers in great condition for like 25 bucks, and then I'll come across another listing that's just the console itself, nothing included, sell for 50. So I never really know what to make of these. Is 40 a good price? I think so. But again, the market for these systems confuses me so much, I can't honestly tell you with a straight face or give any sort of advice on what any of this stuff is really even worth. I gotta be honest, I'm all about these Pokemon hacks and fan-made games. I think they're just the coolest things. I don't know, it's strange to me because I get more enjoyment and excitement from these games than I do with like the real ones. Is that weird? Probably. Would I pay for one of these when I could just use an emulator on my computer, phone, or tablet? Maybe. But it would have to be one of the better hacks, like Flora Sky, Snake Wood, or Ash Gray. Also, who came up with the name of this one? Liquid Ocean? As opposed to like, what, Porcelain Tile Ocean? Anyway, $10? I don't think that's a half bad of price. Alright, so here is the last listing for today, and it's kind of a weird one. The seller has like tiers for the prices. 1 game for $5, 3 for 10, 10 for 25, or you could just buy everything for $2 a game. I've never seen a listing be done this way before. Honestly, if you really had the money to spend, I don't think it would be a half bad idea in thinking about just grabbing everything. I mean, there are quite a few games in here that are worth something. Conduit 2, for example, if complete and in great shape, is like a $50 game. He also has the Mega Man Anniversary Collection, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Mass Effect Trilogy, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Jet Moto 2, and a handful of other games that not only are fantastic, but are worth around $10 or more. So if you were to buy everything, you'd be walking out with a good deal. It just depends again on what you're wanting to get out of this listing. If you plan on reselling or selling duplicates like I would, there's a lot in here that you're more than likely going to sit on for quite some time. It more or less depends on what you're looking to get out of something like this. Unless you went the route of buying 10 games for 25 bucks like I would do and just say, fuck it, I'll just grab the best and or most expensive titles, which is a good thing to consider as well. Especially when a game like Conduit 2 is in the picture. That just about does it for today's video, everyone. Before I go, I wanted to ask you all for your opinion on something for this series. Would it be cool, you think, if I changed the format of this series further by introducing my camera into the mix and, having me, like, in the corner of the video giving my reactions to the listings? I don't normally do stuff like that, but I feel like it gives people a better view of my personality and my sarcasm and dry humor, because facially, I'm extremely expressive. So when I talk about stuff, it kind of gives people, I guess, I don't know, a better presentation. Anyway, give me your thoughts on this. I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Also, before I go, I just want to mention I did recently hit 7,000 subs, which is awesome. I never thought I would get that many subs ever. Since I'm kind of a different YouTuber, I guess, I'm much more mellow, and I don't turn my personality up to 1 million to be fake for views. That's not who I am. With that said, I just want to give a huge shout out to my subs for supporting me. I truly do appreciate, you guys sticking by my side throughout thick and thin. You guys are awesome, and you always will be to me. So with that said, guys, thank you all very much for watching. Don't worry about me. Even though I had my good and bad days, I will be fine. Unless another pyoderma flare-up hits, but even then, I will be fine. Anyway, everyone, take care. I will see you next time.